All right, we are back like we never left. Time for another shave. So we got the Little Beast Brewing out of Portland, Oregon. This one's the Fogmatic New England style IPA. It says on the back, with low visibility and a dense saturation from Sultana and Citra hops, this New England hazy delivers an extreme lupulin effect. Tropical showers to follow. In your mouth, I'm assuming. Alright, let's go. So, Soap Commander Courage. Haven't used Soap Commander in a while. Still smells great. The scent notes right here. Peppercorn, citrus, and cedar. This is a citrus forward scent. Although it does have, I feel like it does have the cedar in there ever so slightly. As well as the peppercorn ever so slightly. If you're a fan of citrus, if you're a fresh boy, you're gonna like this one. And Soap Commander comes in these massive ass 6-ounce tubs. Outstanding value. And value is kind of the theme today. So I saw CDB do a value shave, so I figured I would follow suit and do a value shave because I really haven't done like a dedicated value shave in a while. And it just so happens I just got this to the den. You're like hair in my mouth. The Godbarber. And this one is Cricket. So it's like this little tiny synthetic knot. I'd say, I don't know, if I was being generous, maybe like 18 mil. Like, if I really want to squeeze it, it's like, there ain't much there. It's low density. My wife said she got this for me for about $7 while she was at the beauty store. Fuck it, let's give it a shot. Never used it before. We're also going to use the Gbar, and we'll get into a little bit about that, and some Pacific Shaving Company's Aftershave lotion/balm. So I'm just going to dip the tips of this synthetic brush into some lukewarm room temp water. We'll see what the fuck we can do, if we can do anything. I got it in the Lancaster bowl there. Now this little guy does have a little bit of spring to it, a little bit of backbone to it. It's not a floppy little bitch, but it's not the densest and it's not the softest either. It doesn't look like I'm going to have a problem making a lather, probably because it isn't floppy and it does have some backbone. That's where we're at right now. I'm going to go ahead and add some more real quick. So, it's funny because I've seen a few guys using kind of smaller knots or mentioning smaller knots and kind of enjoying it. I haven't used a small knot since I first started. I kind of quickly moved out of them. I noticed that I like the more all-encompassing luxury of a larger knot. And by all-encompassing, I just feel like it's like more surface area touching your face without getting obnoxious and to the point where it's not useful anymore. Like, I got a full beard. If I went 30 mil, it'd kind of not be useful anymore. But I really like the 26 mil. I feel like that's kind of the max I ever need to go on my face, with the full beard and everything. But this little guy definitely was no slouch. I think we whipped up a nice looking lather for sure. We'll go ahead and get this painted on. It's pretty fucking full for being pretty fucking small. Let's go ahead and get that on there. So let's see, just how soft it is or lack thereof. All right, here we go. Get that little synthetic fiber out of there. Another one over here. I definitely whipped up a nice lather out of this Soap Commander. Never had a problem with Soap Commander. Always has been a great product at a great price. Great value considering the amount you're getting. Never had a problem with Soap Commander at all. Damn. And the scent on this is, I'd say it's probably about 4 out of 10, just under medium. It is a little bit older soap, so I don't know if it's more bold nowadays. But it's a little bit light for my liking. Luckily, it's a citrus forward scent, and citrus is pretty easy to perceive. So I am picking up that nice, pleasant citrus. Now, we'll go ahead and get into the shave, but I will, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I chose the Gbar, and specifically like a vintage razor, as my value option. And it's simply because if you want to pick up one of these value razors, these vintage razors, like on eBay or Etsy, which is where like most of us do like our hunting, they can be had for like around $15 to $25, $15 to $30 for a vintage razor in good working condition. It's a piece of history. It shaved great then. It still shaves great now. And really, worst case scenario, you have to get some soapy hot water and an old toothbrush and put a little elbow grease into cleaning it up, like worst case scenario. But they can be had for cheap, and it's like, it expands your kind of knowledge in the hobby. At least on the vintage side of things. And it's affordable. And a lot of them are like this. Not just specifically the Gbar, but like a lot of gem style razors, a lot of Schick injectors. Hell, a lot of vintage Gillettes. They're pretty damn, approachable when it comes to that price. You just got to do a little bit of hunting, and then worst case scenario, maybe a little bit of cleaning. But hell, for the price that you can pick these up, they are a hell of a value. And they give great shaves. Like, if you've been doing DEs for a while, and you kind of already know, your favorite DE, and you've kind of settled into your preferences on blades, and maybe you're looking for something new, check out some of these vintage single edge razors, because there's a lot of options out there, from gems to Schick injectors, Eversharp, Star razors, And then there's, you know, like more obscure, you know, if you're, you know, it's even more curious. But it's kind of cool, like the stuff that you could get into with just a little bit of looking around. And these are a great value, great value. I think Raza picked up, Shaving with Raza, I think he picked up recently a few gem style razors, and I think he's like really liking it, at least from what I could tell from his comments. So I think that's pretty fucking badass, especially you know, if he starts showing it on camera, having another person showcasing these vintage style razors. Because there definitely are people out there that still do it. I know Shaving with Fuzzy, he does a lot of it. And I know others do, like, periodically, but I don't think they have them like heavy in their rotation. I know Yoast, like Yoast Coast on Instagram, he swore by the Gem 1914 for a long time, probably still does. So, you know, a lot of people know, you know, kind of how good these vintage razors really are. Performance, you know, and getting a good shave out of them is going to be the least of your worries. Like I said, the thing that you'll have most to worry about is maybe putting a little elbow grease into getting them cleaned up. That's about it. Other than that, shouldn't have much of a problem whatsoever. Now, me personally, I think most of them have like a really cool, like, vintage look to them. I like the looks of these vintage razors. It's not, you know, every day that you can say like, hey, I'm shaving with a razor that's a fucking century old. You know, that right there is fucking like badass to me. It's like precisely why I keep them in my rotation. Because of, like, it doesn't get like much more cool than that. Like, I fucking had this for a few years now. It's given me quality shaves for quite a while. They use a different shaving angle. It's just a little bit steeper. Very easy to pick up and learn, though. It's not like something it's gonna take you months to adapt to. It's like, instead of doing like the old 30 degrees, it's more like a 10 degrees. That's it. Then you got it. So, really easy to pick up and learn. Great value. I would highly recommend it. eBay and Etsy. You know, you could put vintage single edge razor, vintage Schick injector, vintage gem razor, vintage double edge razor, vintage safety razor, like those sort of key terms in the search bar on eBay and Etsy, and you're going to come across some very affordable options to either get you started in the hobby or to like expand your collection, or, you know, just open up a whole new world if you haven't dove into vintage or single edge. You know, it's I personally love it. You know, that's why I keep them heavy in the rotation. the Lancaster towel. Not necessarily value as far as price goes, but if you consider the amount of luxury compared to a regular hand towel, priceless. Priceless. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. And that was a very nice shave. The Gbar is pretty approachable. I would say the featherweight is pretty approachable too. One thing about the gem style razors, they're more rigid. The blades are thicker. Kind of the same with Schick injector blades. They don't have as much flex. And so I've heard that people with like really dense beards, you know, find a liking to them because they seem to just plow through it better. I don't know. I'm not gonna like confirm or deny that, but if that piques your interest, you know, maybe it's worth looking into as well. There are options, although nowhere near as much blade options as DEs. You do have some blade options with Schick injectors and with gem style razors. Really no reason not to give them a try. I know I've heard the excuse, like from CDB, sorry buddy, that you just can't be bothered to have a whole nother, you know, blade type in his storage. I think that's a shit excuse. I think it's a cheap excuse. I mean, consider the amount of space that blades take up compared to the amount of space that like a soap and aftershave takes up. Storage is probably the least of your worries when it comes to the blades, especially because they don't even have as many options as DEs. So you just find the fucking single edge blade that you like and you're golden, you know. So this stuff's real good. It has kind of like a peppermint or a minty, I don't know if it's peppermint or spearmint, but it has kind of like a minty aroma to it. Really light though, and it has a cooling vibe, although I'm not like getting like any cooling. Just the smell of peppermint kind of puts you in like a chill vibe. So very nice stuff. Pacific Shaving, honestly didn't think I was going to revisit them, but cannot deny that their products are pretty good. So very nice stuff. I have no quarrels like with using Pacific Shaving stuff. It fucking works, you know. It just works, and it's good stuff. So very nice, very nice. All right, let's finish where we started with this little beer here. Yeah, the Lancaster bowl, the little $7 Godbarber brush, synthetic, did a pretty good job. And since I was mostly painting, didn't really matter if it was soft or not because I was mostly painting. And it had enough backbone to whip up a lather in the fucking shaving bowl. So no problems whatsoever, honestly. Soap Commander Courage. Awesome scent. A little bit light in my opinion. But 6 ounces of fucking great soap. So, and it's affordable, you know what I mean? Good value. Vintage gem style razor. This one is the Gbar. I think it has a really cool look to it. Like, just really nice look to it. I like the lines and everything. Great value. You gotta check out some vintage single edge razors. You gotta. And then Pacific Shaving Company Aftershave Balm. Really good stuff. So, that's it, guys. Gonna be a relatively short one for me, but that's it. I hope you guys have a good day and consider a budget shave this week. Cheers.